to the IdeaGen Global Partnership Summit live here at the Harvard Club of New York City. I am so honored to have with me today from Amazon. This summit is presented globally by Amazon, Ashleigh Torre. Ashleigh, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, it's awesome because we are both from Washington, D.C. as well.
That's right.
And so we are in Washington, but here we are in New York during UNGA and Climate Week. And what a week. There's so much happening, global leaders, luminaries. And I'd like to begin by asking you, Ashleigh, what is your background? Like, how did you end up at Amazon? Like, and what are you doing at Amazon?
Well, again, thank you so much for inviting me. Amazon is proud to sponsor this, and it is an important time to be talking about these issues. So thank you for convening us. Let me start there.
Thank you.
You mentioned we're from Washington, D.C. I live in Washington, D.C., but I'm from Kansas. So I grew up in Kansas and was inspired by my father, who was a public servant and was always encouraging us to volunteer and get involved and knock on doors and help campaign. And he inspired me to pursue public policy in undergraduate school, and then I wanted to go work on Capitol Hill. So right after graduation, I moved to DC and never left. So I started my career, my entire career was on the Senate side, working for United States Senator Pat Roberts, and as part of that portfolio, I handled transportation issues.
Wow.
And that's what eventually led me to Amazon, where today I'm a vice president of public policy, and I lead two of our public policy teams. Both our transportation public policy team, so that includes all the us supporting all the businesses that get goods into, through, and out of our delivery network to customers in 2 days or less, as well as supporting leading our sustainability public policy team. So we'll talk a little bit about the commitments we've made and the bold visions that we have, but I feel like I have a great job where I have a foot in both of those topics, and they are so linked as far as looking at emissions reductions. So that's just a little bit about the type of work I do.
Well, I've got to tell you, I am a huge fan of Amazon. I love everything about Amazon. I love being able to order, and now the packages show up in the middle of the night. I mean, it's like, wow. Like, I'll give you a great example. Our youngest daughter needed a 3-subject notebook. And I'm like, where am I going to find this 3-subject notebook right now before school tomorrow? Amazon. Boom. And there it was. She woke up, went to school with the 3-subject notebook, and it was seamless. And who knew? I mean, the efficiency. And then you get to the sustainability. So the ability for you to have purview over those two areas that are so crucial to the company and the operations is incredible.
It really is a pleasure to come to work every day. What you described certainly feels like magic, but our teams work really hard and really diligently to make that work, to make from click to your doorstep both efficient. We're always looking to be, the best prices, quickest delivery, and most selection. On top of being the most environmentally friendly. And so that takes a lot of work, and we can talk about how we do that.
Well, that's another one. So I ordered another thing. It was a Rocket Book, this sustainable notebook. And it came in a sustainable package. It arrived in a sustainable pack. I mean, it's incredible. And the packaging and the process and the robots and everything else that you have is incredible. And I want to make sure that we do hit upon sustainability. So your strategy aligns with your overall corporate goals. How, Ashleigh, do you measure success in this arena?
So we do that in a couple ways, but Amazon has made some bold commitments. This is the 5th anniversary of the Climate Pledge. Yeah. This is a pledge that we made in 2019 to be net zero carbon by 2040. So that's 10 years ahead of the Paris Agreement. We did that knowing that we don't yet know how we're going to get there, that there are tools, there are technologies that don't exist, but that we all are going to need. This is not just for Amazon, but for all of us in order to tackle this climate crisis. And so we are a leader in this space. This is the types of challenges that our teams love to sink their teeth into and try and figure out these solutions, as I said, that don't yet exist. So we, in doing that, in making that pledge, we've invited companies to join us. We now have over 500 that have joined the pledge in countries around the world. And as part of that, we are tracking our progress towards that. And we're reporting through our annual sustainability report, which I can talk a little bit as well, to measure the steps we are taking. And we're seeing great progress.
Well, that commitment is profound. And what I love about what you're doing at Amazon is you're helping to lead the way and setting, I like to use a golf analogy, which is, you can see the pin in the distance and you know where you're going, even if it's maybe foggy or raining or snow, whatever it is. You still have that flag in the ground. You put that marker in the ground to get to the solution. We've heard today from folks talking about that. You need to know where you're going. You need to set a marker, and then you figure it out.
We have something similar. The analogy we use is sort of a working backwards plan.
Wow.
So we announce where we intend to be, and then we work backwards from there and identify what are the mechanisms, what are the tools, what are the investments, what are the people that we're going to need in order to get there.
Incredible. And so public policy. Wow, we love public policy, don't we? It's, a critical area, and you're helping to play a role in shaping this, especially as it relates to the sustainability initiatives. What role do you see public policy playing in this, and how can we advance these goals for public policy?
Well, I'd like to think that public policy is one of the levers that will help us get towards net zero carbon. And so we have great work ahead of us in order to do that. We will need government partnerships to get there. We will need public-private partnerships, and we will need policies that encourage companies, unlock their capabilities to pursue things like low-carbon fuel standards or investing in electric vehicles. So we've, what I might do is just share a little bit about the partnership that we've had with government and some of the policies that we think are most impactful. So first, we joined the First Movers Coalition, which is a partnership with the State Department and the World Economic Forum, which is bringing companies together to make bold commitments to addressing hard-to-abate sectors. So things like transportation, aviation, cement, maritime shipping, and that's one of the commitments we've made as far as finding and reducing maritime shipping emissions. The other thing that we have partnered with government is the Department of Energy and their new hydrogen hubs. So we're a partner in 2 of those hubs in order to find and scale green hydrogen. So beyond those partnerships, which are super important, we also spend, what I like to say, time doing that shoe leather lobbying. So meeting with Congress, meeting at the federal level, the state level, to talk about those policies that we think really provide those tailwinds to help companies invest, invent, and reduce their carbon emissions. So as I mentioned, we're strong supporters of low carbon fuel standards. At our headquarters state in Washington, we were proud to support a low carbon fuel standard that's now being put into place. We're looking at other states like New Mexico. Also looking for ways to find, to scale sustainable aviation fuel. Aviation fuel is not available at scale at this point, and so how are we pushing for incentives to help not us, but refiners bring down the cost of parity with traditional fuels so that operators can add that into their network?
These are incredible examples, and I love how you started with your background and then how it then applies to all of the things that you're doing with respect to public policy and shoe leather, the old school shoe leather, meeting people in person and helping to describe what the issues are. And that's so important, especially even today with all of the technology that we talk about. It's ironic, but it's still an important component to this, is to helping to describe an issue like you have so so articulately today on all of the things that Amazon is doing. Environmental impact of packaging. What are some examples of policies that you're implementing with respect to that?
So thank you for the question. I often think, as you described, when your daughter received her notebook, that is, Amazon is many things. We have we're cloud provider. We have grocery stores. We now offer Amazon Pharmacy. We broadcast Thursday Night Football. But primarily, we are a retailer. And I think that's a lot of where consumers and our customers engage with us. And the tangible part of that is the package that shows up on their doorstep. And so it is imperative that we, number one, make sure your package arrives and the contents are safe and protected, and it arrives in the pristine condition that we expect it to be in and that you want. But then next, what are we doing to reduce the plastic, the overall weight? And I can say we've made progress across so many fronts. So briefly, we've taken steps to reduce the overall weight of each shipment by a significant factor, so that we're just shipping, the packaging itself weighs less. That helps us improve truck fill rates. That helps bring down emissions from the packaging itself. We're cutting down on the number of boxes we put in additional boxes. So we call that ship in product packaging.
Okay.
So if you order a box of diapers, we no longer will put another box on top of that box. We will just put the label directly on the package, because we know it, and our engineers have tested it to know that it's going to arrive on your doorstep just fine. You just don't need that extra packaging. We've made our packaging curbside recyclable. Okay. We've also reduced the amount of plastic in our packaging. Last year, we were proud to announce we'd have 2 fulfillment centers now that are completely plastic free. So any of the packaging that comes through there is all paper and recyclable. Oh, wow. And then hopefully what I hope you've all noticed, we have reduced the number of plastic air pillows that we used to put inside the packaging to protect your goods. We've reduced that by 95% now in favor of paper dunnage to protect your order. By the end of the year, it will be 0. So no more plastic air pillows. A huge task. It sounds easy. It's not. But if a company the size and scale of Amazon can do it, we know others can too. And I will say, we had a lot of proprietary information that we have developed as we've been on this decarbonization journey. And we realized that we needed to be better about sharing that with everyone, both our partners in the Climate Pledge, but also for any company who's looking for ways to decarbonize. So we recently started the Amazon Sustainability Exchange. Oh, wow. All this information is available. I encourage you to check it out. And so you can see and take some of those lessons learned that we've had and find ways to put it into whatever type of industry you're in, and sort of see how we are providing those tools to other companies.
Well, that is the example of setting the flag in leadership. That's leading. And so I'd like to go maybe just a simple step further to talk about the EVs and drones and other delivery mechanisms. What's the future looking like there?
Well, it's super exciting. And this is, I think, part of the reason I love my job, because this is where the transportation and sustainability side really go hand in hand. So we have made some huge commitments to reduce our emissions in the transportation space. We're doing that through, I mentioned, helping scale low carbon fuels, but we're also investing in technologies and vehicles. So we made the largest order for electric vehicles ever, 100,000 electric delivery vans from Rivian. There are currently 15,000 on the road today, so hopefully you've seen them in your neighborhoods delivering packages for customers. We're also piloting all sorts of different types of technology, electric vehicle technology, whether it's e-bikes, e-rickshaws, all sorts of other types of delivery models. Particularly here in New York City, we are piloting an e-bike new type of technology to help us deliver in New York City. You'll also see, if you've noticed in the city, this what we call the walker model. So we have more deliveries happening by individuals with a push cart or pull cart, rather than adding more trucks into the New York City traffic, which is always notable this week. But so how we are doing sustainable deliveries, but also taking trucks off the road where we can. You did mention drones. We are now delivering to customers by drone in College Station, Texas. We announced we will be expanding that to Phoenix later this year. So this is using an all-electric drone that we are building, and we are now customers from click to delivery in 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes?
In 30 minutes. So imagine it's much more sustainable. It's, again, keeping additional trucks or delivery vans off the road. And it's super convenient. Yes, you can get whatever household goods you might need. But what's particularly rewarding for me to think about is we're also delivering prescriptions. So think about folks who are homebound or elderly or so sick that they need their medication delivered and they need it immediately. And so now our customers in College Station are able to get those prescriptions in 30 minutes or less.
That's just profound. It goes beyond the leadership, right? I mean, it goes to humanity. And that's really the other piece of this that's so incredibly inspiring on so many levels that you're taking the lead on and what you just alluded to.
Well, as I said, it might seem like magic. It is incredibly difficult. It takes a lot of teams, a lot of smart teams that we are just, from a public policy perspective, really honored to get to work with and support their work every day.
Ashleigh, that's incredible. And so just to close on a question that relates to local communities, how and what are some examples of these local communities becoming sustainable, particularly as it relates to where you have larger facilities?
Well, let me thank you so much for having me here today. If I could leave you all with one thing, it's that we are making tremendous progress. We are proud to say that we are now we're matching 100% of the energy we use across our global operations. So that's the fulfillment centers you mentioned in local communities. Sure. That's our grocery stores. That's our data centers. We're matching 100% of that energy with renewable energy. We are now the largest corporate purchaser of renewable energy for the 4th year in a row. And we reduced our carbon emissions by 3% year over year, and our carbon intensity by 13%. And so while we're super proud of those metrics, I think it is important to bring it down to what that means for community impact.
Right.
So when we're now putting electric vehicles in neighborhoods, that has making a real difference in the lives of our customers and our communities, and even for those who aren't customers of ours. We purchased 50 electric vehicle heavy-duty trucks that are now on road in Southern California, allowing us to deliver for customers, but also helping improve the air quality in Southern California and in the Inland Empire where we operate. So we have a lot more to go, but we hope that others will join us in making this commitment. If you are an individual, we encourage you we offer sustainable shopping opportunities on Amazon, whether it's shopping climate pledge friendly products or selecting My Amazon Day, so your shipments come in one box on one day rather than multiple days. If you're a company, we encourage you to join us and join the Climate Pledge. We have, as I said, over 500 other companies and growing, and it's going to take all of us in order to get this done. And as I mentioned, we are putting a lot of resources out there. So whether you're a community, whether you're a company who's not yet ready to make that pledge, come learn more. We're happy to share our learnings with you and provide, whether it's data or information on the exchange, for how you can make your companies more sustainable as well. So thank you again for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Ashleigh, incredible. And what is your final call to action for our global audience?
Well, join us. I guess I'll just repeat that again. This is not a problem for future generations. It is a problem for us now. If companies the size of Amazon can do it, I'm confident that we will be able to help others in our supply chain across all scopes. We will share this learnings on how we're going to get to net zero carbon. And again, we check out our sustainability report. We have a lot more of this data, information, and tools that we are sharing, the accomplishments that we're super proud of. And thank you again.
Ashleigh Torre, Amazon. Thank you. Thank you so very much.